Hey guys, what's going on? I'm the self-described nerd, and today I'm coming at you with another video. So, I have just seen Scream 7. So, I had my screening tonight, I just got out of the movie, and oh boy, do I have some thoughts. So this is going to be a spoiler-free review, 100% spoiler-free. Um, I'm 100% going to do a spoiler review. I'm going to record that once I'm done recording this because there's a lot that I need to talk about with this film. And this spoiler-free review, I'm going to have to dance around a lot of stuff, obviously, for those who haven't seen it. So look forward to that coming in the future. But Scream 7, so there has been a lot of controversy relating to this film with firing Melissa Barrera, and now we were left with this. We heard, there was a $500 million reshoots, and they had to completely change their script. So a lot of people were wondering, like, is this going to be too much? Are they going to be able to pull it off? There's the saying that there is no such thing as a bad Scream movie. That's the big saying. That's the thing of this franchise. Like, there's no such thing as a bad Scream movie. So I was like going down, like, is this gonna be the one that is finally the bad Scream movie? Or even with the odds against it, it makes it through and it becomes a great Scream movie. And for 90, and I saw like the reviews, and the reviews I tried to stay away from them, but they were like low, like low, like lowest of the franchise on Rotten Tomatoes. But I was looking at Rotten Tomatoes, I was like, well, Scream 2 is higher than Scream 1 on Rotten Tomatoes, so obviously that's not a good indicator. So I was like, maybe the reviews are wrong. And I'm watching the movie, and 90% of this movie, I'm like, what in the world are these reviews talking about? This movie is great. And then the ending happens, and the reviews could not be more right. I mean, this might be our first bad Scream movie, and it hurts me to say that. So, keeping it spoiler free, I'm going to go into the things that I liked about this movie first, the good, the positive, because, like I said, 90% of this movie, I was really enjoying myself. Opening scene is great. I mean, from the trailers, you can probably guess what it is. I'm not going to spoil it here, but I really enjoyed the opening scene. Um, when you get to the ending, it kind of, draws the opening scene back into question. But, in the moment, I was really enjoying it. The performances were great, all that, the kills, everything great. Speaking of kills, there are a lot of them, and they are all very, very, very bloody. And there's a couple like really good ones, really gruesome ones. And I was really shocked at how many kills there were. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna do a video where I review my predictions for this movie, and there's a lot of people that I said that were going to survive that did not. So I was impressed by that. Also, there was a lot of suspenseful sequences. You've seen the what you call it, the crawl space scene in the trailers with Sydney and Tatum, and yeah, that scene is just as suspenseful, if not more, in the actual movie. A couple other stuff, and there was a lot of attempts that were made to make change the formula. There is something that happens, you know it when you see it, that happens about midway through. You're like, that's never happened before. This is crazy. Like, my mind was racing. Like, what do we do? Where do we go from here? So I thought that was really interesting. And there was a couple like places that they've never taken Ghostface that he goes in this movie. So I really like it. So there was an attempt made to change up the formula. Sydney was phenomenal in this film. I mean, I cannot. This is quite possibly one of Nev's strongest performances in the franchise, and she's had a lot of strong performances, but she was really good. Like, she toes the line perfectly of being haunted from her past, but not in a way that it obstructs her, that it clouds her. Obviously, she's her relationship with Tatum is strained and because of the past, but there is you see the Sydney beneath it that is still the strong, capable, badass fighter that whenever she and Ghostface are going at it, it is great. She is great. Gail also was really great. I really liked when she was in the movie. I'm gonna save her inclusion for the negatives, but for the parts that she was in, I really liked it. I thought she was really good. She was funny. Um, and lastly, there was an attempt made at commentary. I think they flat out failed, but I can see where they were going with it. I could see that they tried. At least I can commend them for trying. You know, Scream 6 is meta-ness was like it was really haphazard, just kind of thrown on there. This one actually does make sense, and it does relate to a big theme of this movie. So you just get the scene where they're talking and they got people together and they're talking about, oh, this is what the killer's motive could be, and that's when they talk about it. And I do think it could have worked. I think there is a draft of this script somewhere where it did work, but unfortunately that is not the one we got. So that's kind of my positives for this movie. 90% of this movie is good. So you're saying like 90%. So the 10% that is bad, is it really that bad that it ruins the whole movie? Yeah, it really is. I did a complete 180. I went from loving this film to, oh my fucking god, what did I just watch? Um, when you get to the reveal, I'm not going to spoil who it is. I'm going to save that for my spoiler section. But when you get to who it is, I was like, you have got to be kidding me. And then the reveal, I was like, there is no way this is what they're actually doing. I kept waiting, like, this is so terrible. Obviously, this is a fake out of some sort. Obviously, we're going to reveal that this is not the real reveal. This is not the real motive. There's a secret killer that's going to come out of the wing. It's going to be this huge twist. I'm just like, they did this on purpose. There's no way this is actually this bad. This is what they thought was good. This is what they thought was okay. I'm watching, I'm just waiting and wait and wait and wait, and then the movie ends. I'm like, what do you mean that's it? That was your actual motive? That was the actual reveal? Oh my god, it made me so mad. Um, the killers clocked it immediately when you're watching it, and characters, and you're meeting all these characters and stuff, and I'm not going to spoil how, but the reveal, I knew who it was. I clocked it immediately. There was a line spoken by a character that immediately I was like, you're 100% a killer. 100%. So when it got to who was behind the mask and they took it off, I was like, of course it is. Like, anyone with a functioning brain could have figured that one out. And it's never really been like that. I kind of figured, by process of elimination, the killers in Scream 6, but this one was just like straight up like, I know who it is. It is that person, 100%. And I was right. Um, and then, the nostalgia. There's going to be a lot of talk about the nostalgia, and I can't even really get it. I was not a fan. All I'm going to say is I was not a fan of how they handled nostalgia. There's a scene that is super duper nostalgia. It's near the end. You know it if you've seen it. Um, and that scene was just, it could have been cool, and I kind of liked it, but at the end of the day, it was just done so weirdly that I could not like it. Um, what you call it? There was a lot of, red herrings, like, that just made absolutely no sense whatsoever. Um, Things that made, like, that are just there so the audience can be like, huh? Wait, is that person the killer? Wait, really? It's gotta be them because of that one thing. I mean, it was not to the levels of, like, Quinn faking her death in 6, but it was up there. Um, Anywho, there was a couple characters that, their inclusion, like, I'm watching it, like, okay, I'm gonna watch you, and then they never come back, and I'm like, what was the point of that character then? If you just have them for a scene or two, and then they just kind of disappear from the movie, which we'll call it. And the meta commentary was awful. I mean, I said in my pauses, like, they made an attempt, and that is true, but it just did not work, especially with the reveal and who it ends up being. It completely ruins the nostalgia that they set up, because there was no need for it other than, hey, we're gonna sell a lot of tickets based on nostalgia. Um, so yeah, so that at the end of the day, it was just that motive and the reveal of who Ghostface is this time around that absolutely tanked this movie. It went from, I was gonna give it like an 8, almost a 9, because I was enjoying it myself, and now it's down to like a 5, maybe a 4, because of that awful reveal. I genuinely, like, I always went back and forth between which one was my least favorite Scream movie. Was it Scream 3 or Scream 4? Scream 3, it has a couple sequences I like, but then the whole, like, reveal with Roman being the killer, which, Roman looks like, Billy Loomis compared to who it ends up being this time. And then you've got Scream 4, which was, there's a lot of stuff I don't like about that movie. I hate how that movie looks. Um, what you'll call it, I don't like the opening scene. But then the reveal and all that with Jill and all that was pretty great. And I always went back and forth, like, which one do I like least? Well, thank you, Scream 7, because you're now at the bottom of my list. This is easily the worst film in the franchise. It is. I was so ready. Like I was like, what are we doing? Like this is not bad at all. This is really great. And then the reveal happens, and I'm like, yeah, this is bad. Those reviews, they couldn't be more right. And at the end of the day, I'm just disappointed because this is my favorite horror franchise, and now this is part of the canon. I am going to have to rewatch this film when it comes to Scream 8 because they're gonna make a Scream 8. This movie is looking to do big numbers at the box office, and they got to do. I'm part of me really wants to say Scream 8 because this cannot be where the franchise ends. Like this cannot be the last thing that we see of this franchise. But at the same time, if this is the level of effort we're gonna put into these movies now, I kind of don't want another one. I kind of want this franchise to stay dead. Cause what was that? Oh my god. So yeah, that's just my spoiler-free thoughts on the movie. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my spoiler thoughts out of the way once. I'm gonna do that in a separate video. So I just wanted to do this one. So all that, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of this movie. Keep an eye out for the spoiler review because I'm definitely gonna have a lot to talk about with that one. But yeah, oh boy. Ay ay ay. I've been the self-described nerd, and I'll catch you guys later.